I watched through my phone as my daughter-in-law smashed my kitchen window with a rock and climbed inside. This was the fourth time she'd broken into my home. But this time, I was ready. This time, she had no idea I was watching every move. And what she found inside that lockbox, it destroyed everything. Let me explain how it started. Where are you watching from today? Drop your location in the comments below and hit that like and subscribe button now. Your support means everything to me. If you've ever felt underestimated by your own people around you, you'll definitely want to stick around for what happened next. 6 months ago, I gave my son Tyler and his new wife Amanda a spare key to my house. For emergencies, real emergencies, if I fell, if I needed help. That kind of thing. I'm 62, I live alone. My husband passed 3 years ago, so having that key out there felt like a safety net. The first time Amanda used it, I came home to find her in my living room, wearing my late husband's watch. His watch. The one I'd kept in a memory box in my bedroom. She smiled when she saw me, said she was just looking at family heirlooms, that she wanted to feel connected to our history. I was too shocked to say anything. When I told Tyler, he laughed, said Amanda was just enthusiastic about being part of the family, that I should be happy she cared so much. I let it go. The second time, my grandmother's china set disappeared. Amanda had borrowed it for a dinner party. When she returned it 2 weeks later, 3 plates were chipped. She apologized, said accidents happen. Tyler said I was being dramatic. That family shares things. The third time, I came home early from book club and found Amanda in my bedroom. My closet doors were open. Clothes scattered on the floor. She was going through my jewelry box. She froze when she saw me, then laughed nervously and said she was looking for outfit inspiration, that she loved my style. I told Tyler that night. He sighed. That same tired sigh that meant he thought I was overreacting. He said maybe Amanda was lonely, that I should try to bond with her instead of being suspicious. Suspicious, like I was the problem. I started locking my bedroom door after that, started hiding things in my own house, because my daughter-in-law couldn't be trusted. But I told myself I was being paranoid, that Tyler was right, that I just needed to give her time to adjust to the family. Then came the fourth time, and everything changed. I came home from grocery shopping on a Thursday afternoon. The house felt wrong the moment I walked in. You know that feeling, when something's off but you can't name it yet. Then I saw the glass, shattered across my kitchen floor. The antique vase my husband gave me on our 20th anniversary, in pieces. My heart started racing. I walked to my bedroom. The door was open. I always closed it. Always. My jewelry box was on the bed, empty. The necklace my mother gave me before she died, gone. The rings I'd been saving for my granddaughter, if Tyler ever had kids, gone. My husband's cufflinks, gone. Everything that mattered, just taken. My hands shook as I pulled out my phone and called Tyler. He answered on the 4th ring, distracted. I could hear Amanda laughing in the background. I told him what happened. Long pause, then that sigh again. He said I must have misplaced the jewelry, that Amanda would never steal from me. I felt something crack inside my chest. My own son, choosing her lies over my truth. Then he said something that made my blood go cold. Mom, maybe you're getting forgetful. Maybe we should talk about whether living alone is still safe for you. I'd run my own accounting firm for 30 years. I managed complex financial portfolios. But suddenly, I was the confused old woman who couldn't remember where she put her valuables. The disrespect burned worse than the theft. I hung up without saying goodbye, something I'd never done before in my life. And I made a decision. I wasn't calling the police, not yet, because I had a better idea. The next morning, I spent 3 hours on my computer, researching, planning. By afternoon, I'd made 3 phone calls and spent $1,500, money I'd been saving for a cruise. It would be worth every penny. I had security cameras installed throughout my house, the kind you can't easily spot, tiny, hidden, professional grade. The technician who installed them asked if I was worried about break-ins. I smiled and said something like that. Then I changed every lock in my house. Front door, back door, bedroom doors, everything. The old keys wouldn't work anymore. I didn't tell Tyler, didn't mention the cameras. I let him think I'd just accepted his dismissal, that I'd accepted being called forgetful and paranoid. Then I waited. 3 days passed. I went about my normal routine. Grocery shopping Tuesday, book club Wednesday. On Thursday afternoon, I was at my neighbor's house for coffee when my phone buzzed. Motion detected in kitchen. My heart stopped. I opened the camera app, and there she was, Amanda, standing in my kitchen, looking confused and irritated. She was trying her key in the back door, jiggling it, getting angry when it wouldn't turn. I watched Amanda pull out her phone, probably texting Tyler, asking why her key didn't work. Then she did something that made my blood run cold. She looked around, made sure no one was watching, walked to my garden, picked up a rock, and smashed my kitchen window. Just like that, deliberate, calm, like breaking into someone's home was the most natural thing in the world. I sat there in my neighbor's living room, watching through my phone as my daughter-in-law climbed through the broken window. My neighbor was talking about her grandson's baseball game. I couldn't hear a word. Amanda didn't hesitate. She walked straight to my bedroom. She knew exactly where she was going. This wasn't random. This wasn't impulsive. She'd done this before, multiple times, and I'd never known. I watched her open my closet, push aside my clothes, reach for the lockbox on the top shelf. The lockbox where I used to keep important documents, some cash, my passport. She pulled it down, frowned. It was lighter than she expected. Because I'd emptied it 3 days ago, moved everything to a safety deposit box. Amanda pried open the lockbox. Found nothing inside but a single piece of paper. She unfolded it, started reading. And even through the camera, I could see her face go pale. The note was simple. I know everything. The police have been notified. Every item you've taken is documented. Return them within 24 hours or face charges. Amanda's hands started shaking. She dropped the lockbox, looked around my bedroom, wild, panicked. Probably wondering if there were cameras. There were 3 of them, capturing every angle. She bolted from the room. I watched her run through my house, climb back out the broken window, almost falling in her hurry. She got in her car and sped away. I saved the footage immediately, backed it up to 3 different locations: cloud storage, external drive, email to myself. Then I called the police. Not to report the break-in, not yet. I wanted to give her exactly what my note promised: 24 hours. I wanted to see what she would do. Would she come clean to Tyler? Would she return the stolen items? Would she deny everything? I needed to know who my son had really married. And I needed him to see it too, undeniably, without any way to make excuses this time. 6 hours later, my doorbell rang. Tyler stood on my doorstep. His face was red, eyes blazing with anger I hadn't seen since he was a teenager. He didn't wait for me to invite him in, just pushed past me into the house. What did you do to Amanda? His voice was shaking, not with sadness, with rage. He demanded to know why I was threatening her, why I'd left that note, why I was trying to ruin his marriage. I stayed calm, asked him what he was talking about. He said Amanda came home crying, said I'd accused her of stealing, that I'd planted a note to frame her, that I was jealous of their happiness. Jealous of a woman who'd been systematically robbing me for months. I looked at my son and barely recognized him. When had he become someone who believed lies so easily, who dismissed his own mother without question? I asked him one simple question. If Amanda has nothing to hide, why did she break my kitchen window to get in today? His face went blank. He hadn't known about that part. I walked him to the kitchen, showed him the broken window, glass still scattered across my floor. He stared at it, confusion replacing anger. I pulled out my phone, opened the security camera app. His eyes widened when he saw it. Do you want to see what really happened, who your wife really is? He hesitated. For a moment I thought he might refuse, might choose to stay in denial. But then he nodded slowly. I played the footage. We watched together in silence. Amanda trying her key, picking up the rock, smashing my window, climbing inside. Tyler's face went through so many emotions, I couldn't track them all. Shock, disbelief, confusion. And finally, something that looked like betrayal. When the video showed Amanda walking straight to my bedroom, Knowing exactly where to look, he made a small sound in his throat. Like something was breaking inside him, too. I let the video play all the way through. Amanda searching my room, opening the lockbox, reading the note, fleeing in panic. When it ended, Tyler just stood there, staring at my phone screen like it might change if he looked long enough. "Do you want to see the footage from her previous visits?" He nodded, couldn't trust his voice. I showed him everything. Amanda trying on my jewelry, packing my grandmother's china into her bag, going through my drawers and closets like she owned the place. In one video, she was on the phone with someone, laughing, saying how I'd never noticed things were missing, how I was too trusting, too old to keep track. Tyler's hands clenched into fists. I watched my son realize that the woman he'd married, the woman he'd defended against me repeatedly, had been using him. Using him to access me, to exploit me. The betrayal on his face mirrored exactly how I'd felt. Tyler left without saying much. He looked completely hollowed out, like someone had reached inside and removed something essential. He asked me not to call the police yet, just give him until morning to handle it. I should have said no, should have insisted on pressing charges immediately. But he was still my son, and I could see he was devastated. I agreed to wait until 8 a.m. the next day. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying everything. All the times I'd excused Amanda's behavior. All the times Tyler had made me feel crazy for being suspicious. I thought about my late husband. He'd always been a good judge of character, better than me. He probably would have seen through Amanda from the start. Around 3 a.m., I got a text from Tyler. Just 3 words. "I'm so sorry." The next morning at 7:30, my doorbell rang. Amanda stood there, eyes red and swollen, holding 2 large shopping bags. Everything in me wanted to slam the door in her face. But I needed to see this through. She stood in my living room and started pulling items from the bags. My mother's necklace, my rings, the watch, other jewelry I hadn't even realized was missing yet. Then she started crying, big dramatic sobs. She said she was sorry, that she had a problem, that she'd been seeing a therapist about her kleptomania. Kleptomania, as if that excused everything. I let her finish her performance. Then I asked her one question. "If you knew you had a problem, why did you keep coming back? Why did you break my window? Why did you take the most sentimental, irreplaceable items?" Her face changed then. The tears stopped like someone had flipped a switch. She said I didn't understand what it was like to have nothing, to marry into a family with history while she came from nothing. She said she deserved these things as much as anyone. That Tyler was going to inherit them eventually anyway. That she was just claiming what would be hers someday. The entitlement in her voice made my skin crawl. This wasn't about mental illness. This was about greed, jealousy, a fundamental lack of respect. She wasn't sorry she'd stolen from me. She was sorry she'd gotten caught. There's a difference, and it matters. I told Amanda to leave, that I was pressing charges for breaking and entering, theft, and destruction of property. Her face went from fake remorse to genuine panic. She said Tyler would never forgive me, that I'd lose my son. I looked her in the eye and told her she'd already cost me my son, that every time he defended her and dismissed me, she'd driven a wedge between us. I wasn't the one destroying this family. She was. She left in a fury, slammed my door so hard the frame shook. 20 minutes later, the police arrived. I gave them everything, the videos, the timeline, the list of stolen items, documentation of previous incidents. They took it all very seriously. The case moved forward. Amanda was arrested, tried, and convicted. Tyler and we eventually found our way back to each other, but it took time and honesty and acknowledging the damage that had been done. 2 weeks before the trial, something unexpected happened. I got a call from Amanda's mother, Patricia. She told me Amanda had been doing this since she was a teenager, stealing from family, from friends, from anyone who trusted her. They'd moved 3 times because of it. Patricia had paid back so many people, made so many excuses. She'd hoped marriage would change Amanda. Instead, Amanda had just found new victims. Patricia asked me not to drop the charges. She said Amanda had never faced real consequences, that someone always bailated her out, always protected her. Patricia was done being that person. She said if Amanda didn't face real consequences now, she'd keep doing this forever. The trial lasted 3 days. Amanda's defense fell apart quickly. The videos were authenticated. Patricia testified about Amanda's history. Tyler sat with me this time, on my side of the courtroom. Amanda was convicted on multiple counts. The judge was harsh in sentencing because of the pattern of behavior, the breach of family trust, the complete lack of remorse. Amanda screamed at me as they led her away, said I'd ruined her life, that I was a bitter old woman who couldn't stand to see her son happy. Tyler flinched beside me, but he didn't look away. Sometimes people need to see who someone really is, stripped of all pretense and excuses. Sometimes the mask has to come off completely before healing can begin. It wasn't satisfying, watching Amanda being sentenced. It just felt sad and necessary, like amputating an infected limb to save the body. In the months after, Tyler and I slowly rebuilt our relationship. It wasn't easy. There were awkward silences, careful conversations. But we worked through it. I changed after everything that happened. I'm more cautious now about who I trust, more aware of how easily good intentions can be exploited. But I'm also stronger. I learned that protecting yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary. That boundaries aren't about being unkind. They're about having self-respect. Amanda served 8 months, was released on probation. I heard she moved to another state, started over somewhere people didn't know her history. I hope she got real help, not for my sake, but for whoever she encounters next. Some people change when they face consequences. Others just get better at hiding who they really are. I don't know which category Amanda falls into. And honestly, it's not my problem anymore. I protected my home, my belongings, and my dignity. Sometimes that's all you can do. I want to ask you something. Have you ever had to choose between keeping the peace and protecting yourself? Have you ever been made to feel like you were the problem for refusing to be mistreated? It's harder than people think, especially when family is involved. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and your stories and support mean the world to me. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the very end of this story here on King's Revenge Vault. Your time and attention are gifts I never take for granted. Remember that standing up for yourself isn't about revenge. It's about refusing to teach people that you don't matter. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let someone face the natural consequences of their choices, even when it costs you something precious. Take care of yourselves out there. And I'll see you in the next story.